Hi, this is Ceramic85 and today I'm going to show you how I replaced the alternator on my 96 Dodge Ram 1500 pickup truck. I ordered this new alternator from Remy. In this vehicle, the alternator sits here and is powered by the serpentine belt. I will first disconnect the battery and also remove the air intake, including filter. Here is the AC compressor that we'll also have to take out. Then the belt must be removed by pushing back this tensioner. Okay, I start by disconnecting the battery so there won't be any shorts while I'm working. Then I'm moving the air filter out of the way. With this K&N filter, only one screw has to be loosened, then it can be pulled off easily. The intake pipe is held with this clamp. I also loosen the screw that holds the pipe on the intake manifold. Now I can take it out of the way. Next, I loosen the serpentine belt by pushing the tensioner back with a ratchet and removing the belt from the pulley. Then the air conditioning compressor is next. For that, 5 bolts need to be taken out. I want to keep the lines connected so that the coolant stays in there. That's why this screw here is a little hard to get to. I'm also loosening this bolt here, which holds the air lines. Also make sure that you unplug all the connectors. And now I simply move the compressor over to the other side without disconnecting the AC lines. You see that now there's enough space to get the alternator out. To do that, I first disconnect the ground wire. The alternator is held with 2 bolts. I'm loosening them with a ratchet. The top is a threaded one. The lower one has a lock knot which must be held while loosening. Before the alternator can be removed, all cables and wires must be disconnected. The wires and this little connector box here are held by nuts, which I all take off. I use a large flathead screwdriver to push the box off of the threads. I now take the alternator out of the holder and turn it to the side to get to the positive wire. Again, the nut must be loosened in order to remove the cable. Now the alternator is free and can be removed from the engine compartment. Here we see the old and new one. To avoid shorts, the positive terminal is equipped with this plastic cover. This now has to be transferred from the old to the new alternator. The socket is just long enough to grab the nut. Here we take the nuts off because the connector box will be reinstalled afterwards. Now it's time to put the new part in. I want to connect the positive wire first because it makes it easier to get to it. Then I can place the new alternator into its final position. I put only the upper retaining bolt back in for now, but don't tighten it all the way yet. Next, I reattach the connector box. It is simply pushed back onto the threads. First the locking washer goes on, then the nut. I use the magnet to guide the nut to the right spot and then push and screw it in by hand. Then you can tighten them with a small ratchet. The lower bolt is still missing. Here we have to hold the back of the nut again with the wrench so that the bolt tightens down the alternator. Now I can also tighten the upper bolt. The alternator sits in place and now everything else can be reassembled. First the bolt of the air conditioning lines, then the compressor can be reassembled. Here it's a little tricky to get the lines back on the bolt. That also holds the negative wire from the alternator. Next, I put the serpentine belt back on. For this, I pull back the tensioner and lay the belt over all pulleys. I also reassemble the air intake tube and put the filter back on. When everything is tightened up, I reconnect the battery. I'm using the voltmeter to check if the charging current is correct. To do this, I start the engine and connect the meter to the battery. It should show at least 14 volts. If you get readings that are below 14 volts, there's most likely something wrong with your alternator. In the video description, you'll find helpful product links. Please check my channel for more videos about my Dodge Ram, and I hope this video was helpful to you. Please leave a like and comment and hit subscribe. I appreciate all the support from my viewers, and more videos are on the way. Until next time, this is Ceramic85 signing out.